I've got to put these on. It's bright out here, but so as you know, I'm returning to raised beds this year. When I first started in this space, I had 2x12 boards, and I treated them with raw linseed oil, and they were good for my budget at the time. And then I just filled them with free compost from the city or from the county. And then I had a couple years of in-ground gardening, which some success there. But I'm excited to go back to raised beds, and I'm using these galvanized versions. They're about 12 inches high, and we need to fill them. What I'm doing here is that these beds are sort of on a hill, so I'm just evening them out by taking out some of the soil. And you'll see here I already dug a little bit down there. You can probably see the garlic, so I need to move those too. I'm reminded that toads love the backyard back here in the garden area. I don't know if you can see them right there. And so once I get all these raised beds filled with soil, as I've seen with my other raised beds in previous years, they're actually gonna dig down each fall and overwinter in my raised beds. So that's why I don't wanna dig back here this early, because I know there's toads everywhere, and this is the first one. All right, so this is the front of the house, and I've cleared out the beds, and I also cleared out the front over here, and I have all of this stuff that I need to take care of. And I know most of it is seeds that aren't going to sprout easily, so I can put some of this in the bottom of my raised beds before putting all the soil in. There's my sarvisberry branches right there, so I will probably trim that down a bit before using it. But yeah, you can always reuse this stuff if you're starting raised beds for the new year. So if you want to use, different stuff to fill the bottom of your raised beds, there's a couple things you may want to avoid. I would say skip any branches from green willow trees. And when I mean green, I mean they're recently cut down. They are notorious for re-rooting and growing even after they've been turned into stumps. The other thing is black walnut. It has a compound that can impede the germination of some seeds, and so it's best just to avoid any black walnut in the garden. And this space actually used to have one, and so I used raised beds to even start in this space just to avoid that issue. All right, that's the soil I had delivered. It's basically topsoil, 14 or 15 cubic yards of soil that I then need to clear this stuff out and get it out of the way so I can come back here and fill all of my raised beds. And filling all of these is probably about 13 and a half cubic yards, and so that'll take a few trips, I think. All right, well, it's been a week
we had a week of rain, and so everything I wanted to do was put on hold quite a bit, but you can see the grass and everything is starting to green up. And I also have a few beds still to fill up this weekend. The soil is going to be a bit heavier because it is wet, so we'll see how that goes. There's a puddle there which I have to work around today. And so if we go to the back here, I got quite a few of the raised beds filled, but my job today is to fill the rest. So I have that one there, and then 2 over here, fairly big ones, and then that one right over there that needs to be filled, and that's where a winter squash will be. All right, so you may be asking why I only got that much done on this bed today. Well, the soil still needs to dry out a bit, so it's kind of muddy in spots, so I didn't want to move it around and pack it down too much. So I'm hoping it's a little drier tomorrow.